Hey guys, today's video is another Gear Raid 2 video. I know I kind of play a lot of this. This time instead we're going to focus on stages 20 and 21 with the Volka strategy. This is, in my opinion, the best strategy in Gear Raid 2. It's the safest, it's the most reliable. You do need some decent heroes, but it's not quite as demanding as some of the other teams are. So instead of using a Salazar, you could potentially use a Raf. This is, of course, pretty late game content, so you're not going to be able to get away with a completely free-to-play team. You can do it fairly free-to-play friendly though. In this, you can see I only have a Vierna and a Regulus. The Vierna is kind of important for this team, but you could use a Hatset, you could use a Karmet. It does really depend on your individual lineup, what you have access to. But the most important part of this strategy is two things. The first one by far is Volka Awakened 1. So the first awakening comes from Tide 105, which is entirely BP bound, so get that when you can. Awaken Volka to the first one to reduce the allies' revival time by 25%, which is huge. Gear does not really matter on her, but I mean, hey, if you're going to use her at some point, you might as well chuck some gear on her. And yeah, that's the most important thing. It reduces the respawn time on our allies by 25%. Decimus is phenomenal in this stage. I've taken a super cheap fighter here. 8 cost is good. I've taken Dolores, who is also very important to boost my Vierna so she can do enough damage. And then I have a whole bunch of other people. I have a really nice range, really tanky Vortex. I'll show you the stats at the end of the video. And I have 3 defenders. So you see I have a Baron, I have a Regulus, and I have an Isolde. And then I have a Raf for some damage. So the basic premise behind this run is cycling through defenders and avoiding the Shriek altogether. That's what this entire strategy is about. So the reason for using Volka is so that you can dodge the waves of enemies entirely. That's the whole purpose of this strategy. So I'll just use an Isolde for now so I can tank this. But yeah, basically we want to despawn everyone between Shrieks, and you need the respawn time reduction on Volka to make sure that no one is actually there. Otherwise everyone will be in trouble. So yeah, that's it really. We're just going to try to remove our heroes between the Shrieks. We kill the first wave. This was a bit sketchy in the way that it's been handled, but it worked out fine. You just need someone to kill the first 2 enemies. However you want to handle that will work fine. And now we have the first Earthshake. We dodged the first Shriek. That's good. And then the way I like to do this is using a Decimus at this point, just as this third slam is hitting the final slam, as this guy's approaching. When the flash lands is when I place him, just because it means that his passive is not going to be popped until just a little bit later. And I want that extra time so that this boulder can hit. He's invulnerable during the rest of the Earthshakes. This boulder hits, turns around. I then can despawn my Decimus, place a proper tank behind over here. As soon as they start to roll, so there we go. He's tucked now, he's going to roll. And now I'll place my first platform hero as Vortex on the right. He's going to be the one getting targeted because he's the first one I placed. I placed my Vierna and I placed my Dolores. My Dolores, if you saw the little spirit horn icon, it's an artifact that gets her rage up sooner. So that's what that's about. So there we have it. And now I can place my Isolde again because of the respawn reduction. And now we're just waiting for the enemies to group. You see the boulders coming in from the Garnet Guards are aimed at Vortex because he was the first platform hero placed. And now we're just waiting for them to group. I can ult on Dolores, and now watch this. This is going to be really quick. This is a very strong Vierna. I'll show you at the end. I ult kill these guys. I'm so confident I'm going to despawn everyone immediately. But Vierna last, because otherwise the execute won't take effect until they die. So now I can despawn her. No one is alive. I can just wait now. I'm waiting for my respawn timers. But the main thing is I wanted them to go on their respawn as soon as possible. I wanted to make sure that I get them up as soon as I possibly can. That Shriek hit. The second Earthquake, the one coming up, takes a bit longer. So you actually can place your blockers down early because they will hit before the Earthshake arrives. So you can place them down a little bit early. So that's good. I'm happy with that. And again, we're going to want to pull these guys up as the enemies start to turn around because we want to keep the cost. It's very expensive on cost, this run. So there we have it. And we can watch for this one. But I'll place down this low health guy. He dies. The boulders seem to do about 80% max HP damage. So even an unskilled common hero with no gear will survive. That burst means that his passive has run out. So I need to pick him up as well. And now we've got the whole thing's coming on. We've got to deal with all of these guys coming now. But I do have a Isolde again, so I could save myself some cost points and do this, which I'll try. We'll see how that goes. Fortunately, that seemed to work out okay. Now I can drop my Regulus and my Vierna. Bearing in mind, once again, I did place my Vortex first. But now we're going to do exactly the same thing we did on the previous wave. It's just this is a little bit trickier to keep people alive. But so long as mainly over here the Isolde doesn't die. She's 6-star, but not in very good gear. I think it's like plus 12 gear, and she's not even 6 promotions. Regulus will hold because of his passive, so I'm not worried about Regulus. So there we go. They're there. Again, I'm pretty confident. I don't want to despawn Vortex too early, because I've done that before, and then the Garnet Guards will throw their boulders at the middle and kill your Vierna. So be careful about doing that too quick. There we go. They're all dead. We can pick all these guys up. He's going to die. And we pull everyone up. So that's most of the run there. That's pretty much what we wanted to see happen. That's the final Shriek has just gone off. We have an Earthshake coming up. And we have to deal with these rolling guys. But this time we can't place them early. We have to place it at the last second. So I like to place Baron first and then Decimus, because Baron can hold on a bit longer than Decimus can, right? But Decimus is only a rare. Though saying that, my Decimus is 5-star and my Baron is 4-star because, you know... Okay, there we go. I got it. So I'm waiting for the flash because I want to keep Decimus as long as possible. Okay, I can't really hold it, but there we go. So I wanted to make sure the boulder didn't flip to the other side. It gets a bit awkward, so I'm not sure if he's going to survive long enough for the second boulder, so fingers crossed. And let's see. He hits, and then he despawns, so it was just about long enough. So there we go. They're rolling. 1 hit, 2 hit, they're dead. Unfortunately, now we've lost our Baron, so that's unfortunate. We can drop down our Volka to deal with these guys. And everything has gone pretty good, except the boss is now coming. But we have Decimus, whose respawn time is ridiculously small, plus we have A1 Volka, so he's back. Now watch this. I'm not going to place anyone else. I'm just going to place Decimus. And I'm hoping that his passive lasts long enough that the boss turns red and starts to rage. That's what we want. Come on. Oh, it didn't happen. Okay, so now we're in a little bit of a pickle. So we'll place down a Regulus. And there we go. The boss is now raging. So we're going to sack Decimus. We're going to sack Regulus, unfortunately. He's just going to die. Because I don't want to place anyone down while this is happening. Because if I do that, they are absolutely going to get screwed. So what we're going to do is we're going to wait for dear old Regulus to die. Actually, we'll despawn him. So now the boss has finished his tirade, and once he turns to blue, he'll start moving again. So let's just wait this out. There we go. Now we drop down our people, and we pray that there's enough healing on this single defender. Oh. I'm not very confident on on my Isolde. I told you she's in like plus 12 gear. She is not geared at all. But it goes to show you how well this strategy can work. Also, just FYI, it would be better to place Dolores up 1, and then her ult can reach this corner. If I were to place Raph here now, he would get hit by the boss. So it's not ideal to do it that way. So I should place like this. I can ult and I can start working on the boss. I can ult on Isolde to get some shield up. And if Isolde were to die, well, I can drop down a Baron instead. But something else you can do if you like to be risky, you can pick up your Isolde. And as the boss moves in, you can drop down a Regulus. And now the boss is inside that tile. Oh, have I made a mistake? Now the boss is inside that tile. Raph is still hitting, but Volka is also hitting. So now we have an extra source of DPS on the boss. And we can focus down the boss. And that's it. The boss is going to die. That is the run achieved. No power of dominance. Not too many legendary heroes. Just a couple extra, which is Vierna and Regulus. But you saw Regulus didn't do anything exceptional there. So you could substitute him with other people. Probably an Olag would work perfectly fine. Just a defender would work. Because I'm not using him for his ultimate even. So yeah, that's the run. Hopefully that helps you guys out. I'll quickly go over my hero gear. Out of everyone here, I would say there are 2 people whose gear actually matters significantly. And it should be fairly obvious, but it is going to be the Vierna and the Dolores. I guess Vortex as well. So I'd say 3 people where the gear really matters. So this is my Vierna at the moment. She is geared pretty well, as you can see. She's in a full set of Curse because she's killing 6 to 8 enemies every time she ults on that stage. So it's very important that she has really high damage. Curse is going to be at full stacks with 6 to 8 enemies, so that's a lot of bonus damage. And she's at Calamity because it's just good base attack bonus. So the gear itself is actually quite good. Rolls, you can see a bunch of crit rate, crit damage, a bunch of attack. And on the bangle, the same story. And on the accessory, the amulet, we have pretty good stats. And on the ring, we have good stats. We're wasting a lot of attack speed, but I don't have the luxury of choice, unfortunately. You definitely want to be near 100% crit rate, or at least as near as you can possibly get it with Vierna or Hatsa or Karma, whoever you choose to do this with. Because otherwise you run the risk that you don't one-shot the wave and it kind of messes your entire strategy up, and you'll need to keep retrying until you get that perfect run where everything is a crit. From the epic tier, you could also use Maul for this strategy. He worked perfectly fine, but the gearing requirement will be a little bit higher even still. Razak would also work. It's just he takes a bit of time to ult, so you need to account for that delay. So yeah, I would say Vienna, Hatsu, Maul, Razak, Karmet, these all work well. You just need a massive burst of damage up front, and then that will do the trick for you. As for the rest of the heroes I wanted to show you, so I didn't use Salazar, I used Raf. Raf's in okay gear. I wouldn't say it's particularly good, but it's okay. It's not great, but it's decent enough. Vortex is in pretty good gear. I have him in the Guardian set just to give him some more damage reduction. I find that helps a lot. This is my Dolores. I think she's in fairly okay gear. Not great, but decent enough. She's got a whole bunch of attack bonus. Glacier gives more attack based on max HP, so just as much attack as I can get her pretty much. As for some of the defenders I use, this is my Regulus. There's a plus 12 piece here, plus 12 on the weapons, broken accessory set. So nothing fancy there really. He is also missing one promotion as well. We can see here Isolde is also missing one promotion. She has 2 plus 12 pieces, though it is a full Guardian set at least. And again, plus 12 pieces on the weapon set, but it is at least the Immortal Warrior, which is a good set. Volka, you saw me quick equip at the start of the mission. She's in, I guess it's decent enough gear, but there's not enough attack in this. With a crit rate main and attack speed main, it's not a great deal of attack. That should really be quite a bit higher than that. But, I mean, it works. I wasn't really using her for damage anyway, just for her A1, so it doesn't matter. She can be completely naked. At most, you'll use her to absorb some boulders. And as for the rest of the team, here is the Decimus. I wanted him a bit tanky, but it doesn't... Honestly, it doesn't really matter. He can be naked. The first boulder will do 80% of his HP. You drop him after the final Earthshake wave, so the boulder hits him and then resets, and that way he gets that extra half a second of his passive. You do really, really need this to be max skill. The Defiance has to be max skill. Similarly, if you're using Baron, you definitely want to max skill his Immortal Wrath to increase the duration of his unyielding state. I actually spent some soul stones to get mine to awaken free as well, to add another 3 seconds, because that extra 3 seconds can make all the difference in your runs. In terms of gearing for my Baron, all plus 12 gear. It's all HP bonus with 1 defense at the bottom and a broken set on the left, which is just focused on getting him some HP. I didn't care too much for his gear. He's actually, as well, if you take a look, only 4-star. So I don't care too much about his stats. It's just for his passive, which is why the awakening is also important. But yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all of the heroes that I used in the run, unless I'm missing anyone. But yeah, that's the run. It's mainly just exploiting Volka. She's really crazy good, helps so much, and relying on some burst AoE damage. Vienna is my favorite for this because of the cull. It just gets you the extra mile if you need it. But like I said, Maul will work well, Razak will work well, Hatsu will work well, Karmet will work well. A bunch of heroes can do it. The gearing requirement is, though, pretty high. That's it for the run. I hope it's helpful to you guys. I will be making another video for Sadie to show that strategy. But yeah, that's it. That's all I'm going to cover in this video. I hope it helps. If you have any questions, suggestions, tips, or improvements to the run, please do leave it in a comment, as it really can help other people out. And I do learn from the comments as well. These aren't all my strategies. I pick up bits from other people. So yeah, that's it. Thank you guys very much for watching. Have a great day. Take care, and bye-bye.